Hello, everybody. A warm welcome back to the day 2 proceedings of API Days Dubai and Middle East. You are in stage 1. We are focusing on the digital transformation across sectors as part of this segment. Joining us first will be Hadis Nazari, founder and CEO at HAAMI Digital Consultancy, and MohammadReza Mahmoodi, chairman and co-founder at HAAMI Digital Consultancy. Their session will focus on digital leadership and digital ecosystem.
Hi,
Welcome.
present. Greeting to all present, the lecture, and I hope our speech today will be useful for you. At the beginning
Yep.
of the talk, MohammadReza will talk about the digital ecosystem and the impact of APIs on their growth process. And they will talk about the impact of technologies such as APIs on the process of facilitating digital leadership in organizations. We would be happy if you have any question about the detail of these two issues, send them to us on LinkedIn or by email. Well, MohammadReza, we are ready to hear what you have to say.
Thank you, Hadis. Hello, everyone, and thank you for hosting, participating, and sharing the insights through API Days. We hope you have enjoyed so far from this event, and we wanted to celebrate 10th anniversary of API Days. We hope one day there would be a 100th birthday for it to celebrate. The first program transfers of information began in 1960s when simple transition between protocols were feasible. Then from 80s, with the equipping of intermediaries with logic, meaningful and remote transfer of information became possible. The 90s were the decade of emergence of new platforms that allowed us to enhance the complexity and reliability of our messages. Coinciding with the start of the third millennium AD, APIs were born in their present meeting, and their management provided organizations with revenue generating opportunities. From 2015 onwards, with the expansion of cloud services and computing, along with the provision of integration as a service, new standards were set in the industry. The pervasiveness of these concepts and the emergence of API economy caused the need for a new concept among business and technology activities, known today as the digital ecosystems. Mutual value creation fuels platforms, marketplaces, and ecosystems. The API ecosystem is primarily made up of the following elements. Business ecosystems are made up of partners, individuals, startups, and customers that access business services from digital platforms that organizations provide. As you may see on the slides, there are many components in an API-enabled digital ecosystem. The business ecosystem partner creates a new platform from these services and decides to provide or sell it through an organization's digital marketplace, which can provide access to customers. And the organization finally can provide its solutions through other partners' digital marketplace or platforms. But one thing that you have to know about the digital ecosystem and one major thing is to identify the right partners. Innovation in digital have led to new business models to improve efficiencies and profits by delivering a unique value proposition at an improved margin. Through identifying the right partners and opening new pathways to innovation and growth. With APIs coming into the picture, the traditional way of forming alliances is giving way to new age digital alliances where engagement terms are clear, automated, and scalable. As you see, by the 2019, there are more than 20,000 APIs around the world with the annual growth rate of 34%. And as you may see, you can see that the API share of revenue of Leading e-commerce portals are more than 60%. Leading online travel aggregators are more than 19%, and leading cloud-based software companies are more than 50%. In the past few years, the API space has seen explosive growth and is rapidly evolving with the potential to unlock new opportunities. Based on the API Prioritization Framework provided by Deloitte, product development prioritization in this area is based on two main indicators: attractiveness and feasibility. Attractiveness refers to those factors that either provide higher return, for example, services or products which are in high demand in the market or can be expected to have a good growth rate. Also, we would hope the revenue model of these options will be more stable. Somehow they differentiate us from our competitors. The distinctions can also be examined in two ways. First, there is an ability to run. That is, in terms of technology, it can be developed or relationships and partnerships can support its development. Second, it makes a strategic sense. The capacities of services have been seen in business, and there is also the necessary readiness to develop and enter this market. As APIs are being used every day, API management is a vital component that helps businesses cope with dynamic changes within and outside the organizations and deliver what various consumers and partners need. There is an operating model required to manage ecosystems. Technologies are shifting value from manufacturers and distributors to companies that operate end-to-end platforms and provide outcomes as a service. For many enterprises, that means constant change and disruption, and an increasing threat of market obsolescence. Operating models are ever evolving, driven by feedback from employees, customers, stakeholders, and effectiveness of business processes, and also the competitive landscape. An operating model has 9 interdependent components. These components are strongly influenced by and will in turn influence each other: the enterprise culture, as we know as digital culture, the governance, somehow we call it digital governance or data governance, financials on the front line, decisions, performance management, talent acquisition and management, sourcing and alliances, as we know as partnerships, organizational structure, places, tools, and also the future of work. As the final step, we should mention a 5-step approach to a sustainable ecosystem growth. The first is we should adopt an agile approach. Go to the market and iterate often. As you explore possible API strategies and use cases, consider using lightweight prototypes and rapid experimentation. Second one is enhancing your talent model. Just as aircraft manufacturers hire aeronautical engineers to design products, companies must pursue API strategies to hire the right people or reskill existing people for the job. The third one, get to know the data you already have. Many organizations have troves of raw data they have never used or never think of using it either. By working with data scientists to analyze these assets before embarking on API initiative, companies can better understand their data and the value behind those data. The fourth one is the create consumer experience, cost synergies, help create synergies for consumers by lowering cost or creating novel products, sales funnels, service synergies, and any other offerings that you have. And the last one, competitive advantage. Not competing with the price, but through value will help you compete in the long run. And the more sustainable the competitive advantage, the more difficult competitors find it to neutralize the advantages. My colleague Hadis will continue the speech on digital leadership. Thank you for listening to my speech.
Thank you for your presentation. Okay, when we talk about digital leadership, in addition to what we need to consider as human resource leaders, it's the use of new technology to develop the leadership. To success in digital, line of business executive must understand and invest in their application architecture, even if these areas are outside their comfort zone. We could probably write a book about this topic or a less lengthy article. Let's start with a definition of what a modern application architecture and the role of digital leadership. The four roles of digital leadership is about DX strategy plan, DX project management, and DX team management, and after that, DX project implementation. For the next page, to succeed in digital, line of business executive must understand and know about the essence of digital leadership. The digital leadership is about character, competence, integrity, capability, and results. And after that, we could probably know about the essence, and after that, know about the effective of essence. Technology has become a business asset, just like people and facilities and partnership are. Business leaders wrestling to become digital businesses have resolved this, of course. So the question is their organization ready to move quickly to solve the new problems and meet the escalating demands of customers? To answer that question, business leaders must be smart about the technology, such as APIs, that underpins their business success, including modern application architecture. Business leaders need to know enough about these technologies to be able to sanitize check the claims of a supplier or partner that promise results, as well as explore below. This often requires of business leaders to have the trust and confidence of the technology leaders they can turn to. But suffice it's to say that business leaders can no longer leave technology to IT. They must get involved to know when things feel like they are on solid ground and that the roadmap will support the future of the business. It's all about how to start by saying that few business executives get excited about having to spend more money. But in this case, they very quickly realize that they can't achieve the business goals without considering change to the process and system about APIs and people that have to fulfill the experience. Mobile apps were the first time I saw business executives get excited about things like customer database and APIs. The reasons were quite simple. The app didn't do anything valuable without those changes. Once the business leader was involved in the project scoping and requirements road mapping, they quickly learned how to establish the business priorities and ask for feedback on what operational and system change were needed to deliver it, and for example to complete a mortgage application or open an account. They learned that they had to expose the end backend transaction system in ways that simplify the process for customers. The payoff those backend investment was a lower cost of onboarding, a higher rate of onboarding success, and a faster time to revenue, win, and win. Building out a modern application architecture is the domain of technologies, but business leaders need to be involved in both decision making and investment here. This level of investment is likely to be new and unfamiliar to the most digital native startups. The level of involvement is likely to be new and unfamiliar to the most digital native startups. So, how deep should line of business executive go, and how should they align with IT to make things happen? There's an important balance here for a business leader to be smart about business while being savvy about the things that go into making a business successful, including technology. For generation, technology was only the responsibility of CIOs and the IT organization. Now technology is the responsibility of CEO at the last of the expense of knowing who the key suppliers and how much to invest. Fortunately, a new generation of technology savvy leaders is rising to the top of leaders' rank, sometimes taking over the CEO's role already. For most business leaders, the most path forward is to find technology partner that they trust to give them the right scope. We see the savviest companies use two inbox leadership for important technology led business initiatives. By paving a business leader the roadmap and the business leader with an equipment technology leader, they operate as a micro team to guide the effort and fund the investment. So the business leader need to relationship as much as they need the lingo. Both relationship and some technical accuracy are best, of course. Business leader are focuses on the top of line and bottom line, which means that projecting the business impact of technology is vital. When it comes to return on the modern application architecture, what guidance can you give business leader to help them secure the budget to make the needed investment? This is perhaps the theories question we got, and we got in every day. How do you calculate the return on a technology? How to calculate the return on the technology investment rate when investment down into a major contributed to the business. Direct revenue generated, cost structure, and business agility. Oftentimes, direct revenue is hard to attribute. The considerate cost saving comparing the before and after cost is sometimes extremely large, and sometimes the improvement in employee productivity is also large. But don't overlook the direct financial benefit, highly agility, the ability to introduce new services and services improvement faster. This is not soft benefits because it accelerates the pace of getting revenue from new services. There's another financial benefit that sometimes get overlooked. The money that comes from extending the life of capital investment by making an existing system available to solve new problems. APIs has a modern architecture is often deployed to allow firms to move forward to build the new capabilities by harnessing the latent power of their existing transaction system. This can be powerful contributor to revenue without incurring major cost in the form of big capital investment. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope you can use APIs for growth and development at all stages of your business leadership.
Thanks a lot, Hadis. Thanks a lot, MohammadReza. Just one question. So, in terms of you spoke in detail about the digital leadership. So, in terms of this organization taking a path towards digital transformation, how much do you see the a need for making the leadership aware of these things? I mean, digital leadership qualities. It's not the leadership of the organization is predominantly you look from a management perspective and not always from a, and we overlook these aspects, right? So how often do you see the need to happen, provide a training or, making the leadership aware of the digital aspects of it also?
Okay, Mohammed Reza, do you want to?
Okay. I will share my opinion on this question. As you know, Parasant, we have a topic today on this regard about digital transformation journeys in the organizations. We call it leadership gap. Somehow, in many organizations that we have been working, leaders think that their organizations and everything through their organizations are really good. Everything is fine. But if you go to the front line of that organization and talk to the employers and talk to the middle managers, I mean, anything on the front line of the organization, they think and start to think that everything is not fine, and the leadership thinks that it's fine too. They are having somehow a false confidence about their
Right.
organization, and they think that maybe digital transformation and these kind of things are somehow a fashion things.
Mm-hmm.
But we think that it would be really necessary to have both approach, bottom line and top line too.
Okay. Yeah. Great. So thanks a lot for joining us here at API Days Dubai and sharing your views and inputs. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Wishing you all the
Thank you
best.
too. Thank you.